Hello, this is Malorian, and now this is going to be my summary video of how the Onslaught 2013 tournament went. Really, I mean, like I said before, this was a tournament for the fans. You guys were the ones that had such amazing support from the Brawler Bash, and so I really want to do something that was interesting for you guys to watch. I came up in the end with the whole Shooty Orc list, and I think overall it worked fairly well. Of course, me forgetting that, I need another 500 points, that was pretty stupid. But the funny thing that I'm sure all you guys noticed is that whenever I was 500 points down, I won. And whenever I was at full complement, I didn't win. So that being said, it still looked like I should have won the third game. But either way, I won more games than I lost over the tournament. Of course, it wasn't enough to place or anything, but I would have been over half. So that's always good news. But I guess just kind of breaking down my army list, the level 4 going around on the whole wolf there would have done a lot better if I actually would have had, magic phases and not failing animosity and stuff. But at the same time, it was nice to have my general and BSB being so mobile, so that was pretty cool. But of course, this is always a risk when you have, your bunker is only 10 models instead of the usual 20 I go for. But then again, hey, against Skaven, maybe that also saved me from him doing Dreaded 13th to my bunker. So either way, it was something different. I found a lot of times, though, that even when I had a magic phase, I didn't even bother to cast anything because in the little wall, there's not always stuff that you really need and that's going to really be useful. It's kind of like a lore full of toolbox stuff as opposed to the larger wall where I find it's pretty much, you have stuff that's always going to be useful. And then, of course, whenever I did have it, like, oh, well, I'll do Vindictive Glare this case because I'm so far back, well, that's just the one spell they stop. So, there you have it. It wasn't too bad. I would only really take him in fun games, I think, and maybe I'll want to try it with having the level 4 on a boar back there, so he's more mobile. I don't know, something to try. The BSB being on a wolf, pretty much the same thing. He's still fairly cheap. It's nice to have a BSB that's fairly mobile, so that was pretty cool. The hero that was on a wolf, nice little toolbox guy to have there. Of course, there's a few games where I messed up with him, but just having a guy where it's a throwaway unit that's so fast that can hide into a unit until he's needed, and then off he zips. I think he was very nice. I know there's another player around here that likes running multiples of them instead of running wolf riders or anything. So, maybe that's something I can try fitting into more of my lists. Getting to the core, having the savage and the orc archers, they're not great, but they especially fit in with a theme like this, adding a little bit more shots, and then at the end of the day, it's still 30 attacks at strength 4 for the orcs and 40 strength 4 for the savages. So, wasn't all that bad. Of course, sometimes I kind of tricked myself where I kept on looking at the savages and thinking they were actually the normal biggins, all that stuff, but, either way, they still did decent enough. All those units of 20 night goblins, they did okay. For 60 points each, what do you really expect? Of course, their shining glory would be times where they pull off the double fleas and stuff like that, but that's, for 60 points, they're my throwaway units. They're supposed to do what throwaway units do, and again, with all those short bows, they add a little bit more punch to what's going on. Going past that, I had all my war machines. And I guess in a list like this, of course in Brawler Bash, my War Machines did not do all so hot, and that's because I'm also being aggressive. Here, I was happy with them all. Even my Chukkas did their part. So it was just really interesting how the different theme of the list and the different way that you're playing it, just how you can get a different amount from them. So very happy in this one here. And then, yeah, that was pretty much my list. I guess the only other thing I had was the Black Orcs, which I forgot to the end. Of course, Black Orcs are always Black Orcs. They're fantastic, especially in that third game. They just really helped. But the big things, really, they didn't really fit in with a theme. If I would have done it with the theme, I would have actually just taken a bunch of chariots, I think. It's just as soon as I thought 500 points, boom, Black Orcs Flaming Banner. That's always 500 points in my list. So, and also, I think if I would have known from the beginning that it was 2,200 points, I wouldn't have gone with the shooty option. I would have gone with something else. The shooty options usually work a lot better in the smaller point games. You have more room to maneuver and all this stuff. But hey, it still worked out. It was fun. It was different. Hoped you guys liked it. And overall for the tournament, yeah, this one was obviously different from the other one where Brawler Bash was all about victory points. This one is more about the difference, and that's how many, whether it's a massacre, blah, blah, blah. And it's less tournaments like this where you can actually do the whole Wood Elf thing and flee and go for the small wins. But even then, like we were saying, where it wasn't like double victory points was a massacre. You had to have at least, whatever it was, 1,500, something different in order to get the massacre. And that worked fine enough. Obviously, one of the things I thought that didn't really matter was the whole objectives. It kind of made you kind of go around, but for the most part, for the very rare times that 100 points matter, sure, okay, but for the most part, it's just worth it to go for something else. And then otherwise, yeah, I just thought it was a great tournament. It was really, I felt kind of weird that it was actually kind of small, because normally this is one of the larger tournaments in Edmonton, but because of other tournaments going on at the same time, there's a Comic-Con going on, it actually didn't have that many people, so I felt kind of bad for the organizer, but I'm sure next one will be nice and big. And something else I noticed is whereas at Brawler Bash, the #1 army was Warriors of Chaos, here, 0 Warriors of Chaos. And then whereas at Brawler Bash, no dwarves, over here, you had a few of them, and one of them actually won Best General. So just funny how the two different metas work and what you see. Yeah, I mean, I'm really surprised not to see any Warriors of Chaos. So there you have it. Hope you guys liked watching all the reports. Next tournament is not for a while. I'm actually in May going to be running a couple of tournaments, and then I have kind of like a friendly doubles tournament coming up in June. But yeah, should be a lot of fun, and we'll see you guys then. Bye.